Hello guys, this is Paul McWhorter with TopTechBoy.com, and we are here today with lesson number 4 in our incredible new tutorial series where you are learning all about robotics. I am going to need you to pour yourself a nice big mug of iced coffee. I'm going to need you to get out your most excellent Elegoo Smart Car version 3.0, which we put together mechanically in the last 2 lessons. What? You don't have your smart car yet? Well, look down in the description. There is a link over to Amazon, and you can hop over there and get you one of these kits. And that way you will be playing along at home with the identical hardware that I am doing in this series of lessons. And hey, as always, I want to give a shout out to you guys who are helping me out over at Patreon. It's your support and encouragement that keeps this great material coming. You guys that are not helping out yet, look down in the description. There is a link over to my Patreon account. Think about hopping on over there and hooking a brother up. But enough of this shameless self-promotion. Let's jump in and let's talk about what we are going to learn today. What we are going to learn about is we are going to learn about the fundamentals of motor control in robotics using the L298N module. Now, the Elegoo Smart Car is a small robot, but the concepts that we're going to be teaching you on this are identical to what you would be doing on a big robot. It's just this is small and affordable, and the concepts, though, would apply to any number of different things. So we're just going to get some of the theory out of the way today, some of the fundamentals, and I want you to understand it. We're not going to just go in and load a library and run someone else's code. We're going to understand how it works, and then we're going to be able to program it. And then before this series is over, we're going to make this little bad boy sing and dance for us. Okay, you're going to understand it. And that's what this channel is about you understanding things, not copying and pasting what other people have done. So let me get out of your way. And let's talk about kind of the fundamentals of motion. And the simplest possible thing that you might want a robot to do is drive forward, drive backwards, turn left, and turn right. And my goal for today is for us to go through enough theory that we will be able to sit down and program, and by the end of this lesson, you will be able to take this thing and have it go forward, backward, right turn, and left turn. Okay, enough of this introductory nonsense. Let's jump in here and see if we can get this to work. I have got to warn you guys that I am new with the tablet and I am uncomfortable with the tablet, and I'm much more comfortable with engineering paper. But as I was just trying to get my camera shot set up, it's just you cannot see the paper as well as you can see the tablet. But just understand I can write a lot neater on paper than on the tablet. I'm still trying to get used to it, but hopefully it will be good enough for you to be able to see okay. So let's start by just kind of drawing our little car. Okay, I want to draw our little car. And so I will come over here like this, and we will say that this is the Elegoo Smart Car. I don't like that. Man, this is going to be a long lesson if I am going to be a perfectionist, but that one is just too bad. That one is not good, and I need a better pen. I wanted to make it heavier. And I really like it when it lines up with the grid. Okay. Look at that. Very nice. Very nice. Now that is the Elegoo car. Let's come in and let's put the 4 wheels on it. Okay. I think I'm doing pretty well. What do you think? For a first time tablet, first time using the tablet live. Okay. And we are going to have 4 tires. All right, that's pretty good. So let's think. If we wanted the car to go forward, we would want all 4 tires to do what? Turn forward. That's pretty easy. If we wanted the car to go backwards, we would want what? All 4 tires to go backwards, right? That's pretty easy. But if we wanted the car to turn right, we would want the tires on the right. We want it to turn right, so we want the tires on the right to go backwards and the tires on the left to go forward. All right. And the opposite, if we want to turn left, the right tires go forward and the left tires go back. If you think of those four things, forward, backward, left, and right, and you write down what I said, what you will see is the tires on the left both act together. The tires on the left are always doing the same thing with each other. The tires on the right are always doing the same thing with each other. And so I want to kind of write that down because that's important as we are going through this stuff. And so what you need to see is, that is not good. I warned you that I'm just getting used to this. I still had it on square. Let's see. All right. So let's see if this is going to work. All right. So yeah, these are always going to be the same, and these are always going to be the same. Okay. So if the left two tires and the right are doing the same thing and the right two tires are doing the same thing, how many actual control channels do we need? We need two. One channel is going to control the two tires on the left doing the same thing, and the second channel is going to control the two tires on the right because they're doing the same thing. And so what we are saying here is we are going to say that we have a channel A over here, and we're going to have a channel B over here. So we're going to have channel A and we're going to have channel B. And then what I need to kind of show you is that when we start getting into our control signals, there is going to be a control signal that activates those channels. And so we are going to have an enable channel A, okay, and we're going to have an enable channel B. Okay, so we're going to have enable A and enable B. And the enable A on the L298N, that enable A is connected to pin 5 on the Arduino. Now, how did that happen? It was in one of those little bundles of wires we ran from that L298 module up to the Arduino. When we did that, we just plugged it in because that's where it fit. But enable A coming off of that module went to pin 5, and enable B on that module went to pin 6. Okay, now this doesn't turn the motors on, this just activates them so that they are controllable. And so what happens is that if we put pin 5 high, it will activate the left side of the car where it will be ready to be controlled. And if we put ENB high, it will activate the right tires. Why is this important? And I will, before you guys yell at me, I will take this off. I'm sorry, I didn't see that I was writing down into the... There we go. So we can activate the left or we can activate the right. Why is this important? If you go in and start trying to do control and you haven't activated that channel, nothing's going to happen, and it's really kind of a hard thing to debug. All right, I will put my lesson title back on. So now we have channel A and channel B. But what I want you to think about is, what is it going to take to turn the car? So I want you to think of the left wheels, and I want you to think in terms of the right wheels, and then I want you to think the right wheels. I want you to think in terms of the car. Okay, so if the left wheels are going forward and the right wheels are going forward, what is the car going to do? It's going to be going forward. And you guys make sure that you're writing this down, because when we start coding, this screen is going to be up here. So you need to have this as a cheat sheet as you start writing your code. All right. Now, what would be another thing you could do? Well, if the left wheels are going backwards and the right wheels are going backwards, what is the car going to do? It's going to go backwards. Okay, how about this? If the left wheels are going forward and the right wheels are going backwards, so the left wheels are going forward and the right wheels are going backwards, what is going to happen? The car is going to turn right. Okay, it is going to make a right turn. And similarly, if the left wheels are going backwards and the right wheels are going forward, so here, I'll do it in a different color, we would say that the ones on the left are going backwards and the ones on the right are going forward. We can see that that would lead to a left turn. Does that make sense? This is really simple, but this is really kind of key to getting this car to do what we want it to do. It's really key. Okay, now I can control the left wheels, and I control the left wheels with two control signals. Those control signals are I in 1 and I in 2. And I can control the right wheels, and those are with signals I in 3 and I in 4. Okay, so I've got 1 and 2 control the left wheels. You got to understand, it's not like I in 1 controls one wheel and I in 2 the other. No, the two wheels on the left always move together, and they move together according to what I in 1 and I in 2 say. And similarly, I in 3 and I in 4 control the right. And so these control the left wheels, and these control the right wheels. Okay, left and right, I in 1 and I in 2. So what is it that I want the left wheels to do? I want the left wheels to go forward. The way I make the left wheels to go forward is put I in 1 at 1 and I in 2 at 0. But remember, don't forget, you have to activate A and B before any of this stuff is going to do anything. You got to activate A and B. Well, if I want the right wheels to go forward, you might say, well, I'll do the same thing, go 1 and 0. Well, you got to think, and this is a little bit tricky. Let me get back up where you can see this well. Okay. Do you see that it is not symmetric if you look at those front two tires? Okay. On one side, the tire is coming off of the right shaft of the motor, and on the other side, it is coming off of the left shaft of the motor. And so they are mirror images of each other. And so one would be going counterclockwise and the other would be going clockwise. And so because they are mirrored images of each other, on the other side of the car, it is a 0, 1. It is a 0, 1 that makes it do what you want. Okay? So if I want the car to go forward, I have to set I in 1 to 1, I in 2 to 0, I in 3 to 0, and I in 4 to 1. And I think I probably also need to give you the pin numbers on this. This is on the Arduino connected to pin 7, pin 8, pin 9, and pin 11. Okay. And then I should also show that this is our pin 5 on enable A and our pin 6 on enable B. Okay, so that'll be when we go in and start coding. And that's going to be pretty quick here. All right, so let's see if you could figure out, if I wanted the left wheels to go backwards, what would I do? Well, I would just reverse these. It would be a 0, 1. And then I want the right wheels to go backwards. That would be a 1, 0. Okay. Now, if I want to do a right turn would be forward on the left wheels, which we know is 1, 0, right? And then it is backwards. It's forward on the left wheels, and it is backwards on the right wheels. And so backwards on the right wheels would be 1, 0. All right. And then if I go backwards, if I want to make a left turn, I would go backwards on the left wheels, which again is 0, 1, and then forward on the right wheels, and forward on the right wheels would be, let me make sure that I do this right. 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 1 0 1 0. So backwards is 0 1, okay, and forward is 0 1. Okay. And I'm just going to look at this for a second, and you guys tell me if I made a mistake here. Forward is 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 1. This one's backwards. 0 1 1 0 1 0 0 1. Okay, so this is kind of like, if you will, this is kind of our truth table of what commands we need to do. What do I mean by commands? It's just a digital write. It's a digital write high or a digital write low. Okay, and so the other thing that you could have forwards, you could have backwards, or you could have stop. And stop is the same. You do a stop with a 0 0 and a 0 0. You know what? This isn't really needed, but you can also do a stop with a 1 1 and a 1 1. And so if both inputs are set to the same thing, the motor doesn't run, it stops. Okay, and I covered you up for just a second, but you should be able to see that. Okay, so you guys make sure that you write this down so that you can get this when we start coding. And guys, this is not complicated. How many total pins do we have? We have a total of 6 pins. Pin 5, pin 6, pin 7, pin 8, pin 9, pin 11. If we're going to do anything with this robot, we have to enable A, we got to put it high, we got to take enable B and put it high, and then all of these things that we're doing over here will make them move in the right direction. All right, so let's get out our smart car. Okay, and then let me see the best way to do this. I think we can come over here, and then I need to grab this real quick. I am sorry, this was in the wrong spot for what I needed for you guys to be able to see this, and I'll have to move it back in a minute. And I have warned you all that I do not have a control room. I am a one-man show here. So let's get this where you can see it. And I need to adjust the view here. All right. I think this is going to work out kind of nice. I'm going to move it just a little bit like that. All right, so this way you can kind of see the car as we're working on it. You can see the car, and then also you're going to be able to see the code. And so we're gonna bring this up. All right, I think this is going to work very well now. So you see me, you see a live view of the car. Okay, you see me, you see a live view of the car, and you see the code. Okay, so now what we are going to need to do is we are going to need to start coding. And so how many pins did I say? I guess I should also say, I should pause here for a second, and I should say I am assuming that you have at least a simple working knowledge of Arduino. And if you have not ever written an Arduino program before, you need to go to my other series of lessons, the Learning the Arduino or the Arduino tutorials or the Arduino lessons on this channel, and you need to at least watch the first one, because that first one will show you how to install the IDE and get your development environment going. And so if you have not done that that yet, you need to at least do that, because I'm not going to take 20 minutes, because just about everybody on this channel has taken those lessons. You got to take at least the first lesson, and that will show you how to install the software to talk to the Arduino. Okay, now we have 6 different pins that we are controlling. So what do we need to do? We need to set up variables for those pins. So what was our first one? We had, and you guys, again, I warned you that you weren't going to be able to see this chart, so you need to get your chart out that you wrote down, or maybe you took a screen capture of mine, but you need to be looking at this so it'll make sense what we're doing. Okay, so what are we going to do? We first of all had our left channel, channel A, and we had the enable A, right? And enable A, enable the left channel, was connected to, if you go back and look at your notes, it was connected to pin 5, all right? And then we also have int, and we need to have enable B, and that is connected to pin 6. And then we need to set up a variable for IN1. That is one of the control signals for the left tires, and that was connected to pin 7. Okay, and then we have int IN2, and that was connected to pin 8. All right, and then we have int IN3. And I'm going fast because I told you all this stuff already, right? It's connected to pin 9. When was this stuff connected? When you plugged all those little wires in. When all these little wires were plugged in, you were connecting. And in fact, you can see that there's the L289N control. And how many wires? 6 wires. Those 6 wires go to 6 pins, and we're setting up those 6 pins. And I did not spell that right, so int 9, and then that was no good at all. That was IN3. Okay. And then int IN4. And that is going to be equal to pin 11. So now we have all of our pins set up. And if we are going to be using pins, what do we need to do? We need to do our pin modes, and we do our pin modes inside of the void setup. And so we are going to come here and we're going to say pin mode. And which pin are we working with? ENA, and it is a what? Output, like that. Output turns a happy little blue color, means we typed it in right, it recognizes it. Okay, so that's an output. And now, since we have 6 pins, I'm just going to paste that, and it'll go a little faster, so I'm going to do a Control C. And that's 1 that we have, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6. And now we need to give these things values. Okay, and so this was ENA, the second pin was ENB, and then we had a IN1, and I think I'll grab that, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, and then that was IN2, IN3, IN3, and IN4. So now we've set up our 6 pins. We have declared our variables. We have done our pin modes. And so that is all really, really good. And then I think what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to go ahead, because I'm just going to leave these things enabled. So I won't have to keep worrying about enabling them or disabling them. So I'm going to go ahead and do a digital write, happy little orange, digital write to what? ENA, and I'm going to write it high. And that's good. And now I'm going to do a digital write, and I'm going to also enable the other channel, enable B, and we'll put that high. And now, as I'm writing the program and doing things, all we got to worry about are those 4 control signals, IN1 and IN2 for the left side, IN3 and IN4 to control the right side. Okay, how is that? How is that? I think that is really good. So now we've kind of got our setup done. Okay, we got our setup done. I'm going to take out some of these ridiculous amount of white spaces in there. And that was a colon, not a comma. I hope you guys caught that. Okay, now we're going to come down to our loop where we're actually going to make it do something. Okay. And so let's just do the simplest thing possible, and let's just say we want it to go forward. So in order to go forward, what would I do? I would say, well, I want to do a digital write, and you remember your little piece of paper here, okay? Your little piece of paper, you need to get that out, and you can see the top line. And let me see if I can, I wonder if I can actually go back to that for a second. Okay, it's this one. If I want to go forward with both, it's going to be a 1001. 1001. Okay? 1001. Okay, so I'm going to do a digital write IN1, and that's going to be high. And then I'm going to do a digital write, and then I'm going to do an IN2. IN2 is going to be low. And I think I've got you where you can't quite see this. That will be a little better, right? And so it was 1001, so digital write, and now this is IN3, and that's going to be low, low, all right, and then digital write, and then IN4 is going to be high. So that should make the tires on the left spin in a forward direction, the tires on the right spin in a forward direction, and then the whole car should go forward, all right? And I'm missing colons. Like that. And then I think it's always just good measure to put like a delay in here. And so I'm just going to say delay of 1000. So when it gets the signal, it's going to do that for a second. And then because it's in the void loop, what's it going to do? It's going to do it again. And so if I just turned it on like this and downloaded the program, what would do? The car would drive off the table. So we got to be careful and not drive the car off the table. Okay, now you need to get your USB cable hooked up to your computer, and then we're going to come in and hook it up to the smart car. I hear the happy little noise, I see a happy little red light, and I see a happy little green light in there, and so that is really good. The thing is kind of coming to life. Okay. Now, I got to tell you one thing that's very important. Do you see this Bluetooth module that we put on here? That Bluetooth module uses those same pins, the TX and RX, that the USB uses. So if you leave this plugged in, you probably can't download your program. So for now, we need to take the Bluetooth module off. Okay, we need to take the Bluetooth module off. And then also, I'm going to set this on my hand. If I'd thought better, I would have brought something to set it on where, you know, it doesn't run off the table, because I did have one get away from me when I was practicing for this. Luckily, it wasn't done on camera. Okay, so now I'm going to come in and I'm going to look that for me, I'm on, well, we should all be on the Arduino Uno. Okay, we're on the Arduino Uno, that's good. And then remember to set your COM port. For me, it's COM11. For you, it's whatever yours is. Okay, and so now we are going to click this and download it. Okay, now, we did not get an error, but the tires are not spinning. Somebody tell me why the tires are not spinning. Okay, hopefully you can tell me. The Arduino right now is being powered over the USB, but that's only powering the Arduino. There's no power to the motor. There's no power to the L298N module because we didn't turn the power switch on. So let's go ahead and turn the power switch on. And Shazam! This little robot just came to life. And this guy is ready to roll. Okay. Now what you want to make sure is with your fingers, make sure that the car would be going in the right direction, that all the tires would be working together to make the little car go in the right direction. And to me, it is, yes indeed, it is. Okay. Now what we are going to do is we are going to see if we can make it run backwards. All right. And now how would we make it run backwards? I'm going to just copy all of this, and then I'm going to come here and I'm going to paste it, and then I'm also going to put in a delay of 1,000. All right. And so now that looks good. So I have this turned off. I have it turned off, and now I'm going to download this. And what it should do is the tire should go one way for a second and then the other way for a second. But I'm sorry, I didn't switch these, did I? Man, that would have been embarrassing. Well, it is kind of embarrassing anyway, even though I didn't let it go. I would have been having to chase this thing down the hall because it wouldn't have come back. It would have just gone. Okay, so there. That should go backwards. So let's just try it out here before we put it on the ground. Got one of those things, I don't know where my cursor is. Do you guys ever, like I've got 6 screens and I lose my cursor. All right, so let's go here. It looks like it downloaded successfully, so I'm going to turn it on. Boom! Do you see that? Program control of the motors through the L298N control module. Yes, sir. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to unplug it. I'm going to untether it from the mothership here. Okay. And now you're going to see why I had the camera out there. I'm going to see if I can move the camera back without knocking something off. Okay, and now let me see if I can get you a reasonably good view here. Let's see. This is our robot cam. This is our new robot cam, okay? And then I think what we probably should do, is come over here and see if you can see it like that. Yeah, I think that's that. That is not that camera. Let's see if this one is. There we go. Robot camera, but it's upside down. We'll get this figured out, don't worry. And we are so close to having the shot that we want now. There we go. Okay, robot cam is activated. All right, so now I'm going to reach over and turn this thing on without knocking the camera off. Wow! Look at that. Look at that go, guys. All right, I'm going to see if I can catch it. Okay, let's turn that off. All right, so let's now see if we could just let's make it do a left turn and a right turn. Okay, so we went forward and backwards, and let's make it do a left turn and a right turn. And so the left turn, and again, you want to kind of look over here. Oh, look at that. You can almost see it up there. You can almost see it up there. Yeah, you can see it up there, right? So I mean, you can kind of see what we need to do right up there. I'm not sure how that happened, but we'll not complain. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a right turn. So I'm going to just kind of put this as right turn. Okay, I'm going to do a right turn, and to do a right turn, which you can see up here, for a right turn would be a 1 0 1 0. So that would be high, low, and then high, low. And I got to do high did not turn the happy little green. So that should be a right turn. High, low, and the left turn should be low, high, low, high. And so this should be low, high, low, high. All right, low, high, like that. Okay. Does that look good? I think it does. And it is off. And I do need to plug this back in. And remember, no Bluetooth module or this thing isn't going to work. All right. Happy little noise there. And let's click download. Looks like it's happy. All right. I'm going to unplug it. All right. And we will be switching over to our alternative camera view. And that would be, I think, this one. All right. And then we'll put it out there and we will turn it on. All right. Look at that. Boom. That thing is going. All right, guys. All right. He's kind of hard. He's kind of hard to catch. So let's turn it off. All right, guys. So this is indeed kind of exciting. We have been able to go forward. And this is just lesson number 3, man. And this is our first real programming lesson, right? This is the we really programmed it, and we've the first couple of lessons we just got the thing put together, and now we have it going forward, backwards, making a left turn and making a right turn. Okay, so what is good about that? Well, it's like we've got all the basics that we need to start making this thing do what we want. But what you could sort of see is how far it turned. Let me go back over. What would be a good one? All right. How far it turned was a function of the time. And we just arbitrarily made it a second. And that is not necessarily going to be a useful turn. And so what I want you guys to do is your homework for next week is to program your robot where it will go 10 feet in a straight line. It will turn around, and it will come back 10 feet. And I'm going to say that you need to come back to, let's say, within plus or minus a foot of where you started. Okay, because it's going to be hard to come exactly back to the same place. But let's just say kind of like if I drove it out the door, it would go out 10 feet and then it would come back 10 feet. And so I want you guys to write that program for next week. And then next week what we'll do is we'll look at that and we'll kind of do it together. And I think what you got to kind of think about is it's the first thing is what your goal is to make it work where it does what the assignment is, but then your second thing is going to be to do it well, to kind of do it smart, to do it where you're setting yourself up for future programs. And so I want you to kind of think about what would be a good way to do this. And the answer is trial and error. Trial and error is probably not the way that you want to do it. But your assignment is just to get it to work. And if you get it to work by trial and error, then that is fine. Okay, guys, I have had a whole lot of fun with this lesson. Man, I really like this little car. Initially, my first foray into Robotics was, I think, with that Lego Mindstorm or something like that, and that was just a terribly expensive little robot, and it just wouldn't work. I mean, it was mechanically so rinky-dink. It was just totally frustrating for any of the students because it just never would do anything very good. I really like the quality of this Elegoo one. I mean, I've been very impressed with what all we've gotten for the price, and so I'm really excited about continuing to move forward with these lessons, and I'm excited to see you next week when we are going to see if you got your homework done. Okay, guys, really had fun today. Again, appreciate you guys who are helping me out over at Patreon. Would appreciate it if you guys would give me a thumbs up on this video. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, when you subscribe, make sure you ring the bell, and that way you'll get the notification when my future lessons come out. Paul McWhorter with TopTechBoy.com. I will talk to you guys later.